The Eyes with Pride, my first year, seemed kind of confusing. Like, I didn't know what was going on because everyone started yelling these words, and they wouldn't teach me what the words were. I just had to figure it out.
It was our first time being with the band all together. I just already knew, whoa, this is gonna be special. This is one of the cool marching band traditions that I've heard all about that I get to be a part of.
When they stand up there and they say that, it always is like, this is what it's about. Like, I hope they're internalizing what this means.
The further I got with things, I actually refer to that in my teaching quite a bit. It's kind of a checklist.
The Eyes with Pride, it goes back to my high school years. I learned that from the George Parks Drum Major Academy back in the 90s.
That really came from George Parks. He was one of the best drum majors on the planet, taught the Bands of America forever and ever.
My first day on campus was really George Parks' first day on campus. Coming here as a freshman in 1977, all I knew was just do your best all the time, perform. You know, stand up, show up. If you do it right, you honor what's come before you, stand on the shoulders.
He came in as a young person. He was 24 years old. His ability to inspire the students was pretty special. I mean, getting people to believe is a powerful thing. And his energy, his enthusiasm, contagious. You couldn't not be affected by it.
I knew that I had to know more than I knew about marching band. So I knew that there was a Bands of America Summer Symposium back in the Indianapolis area, and I started going. That was the first time I was ever introduced to George Parks. I was blown away. So I just sat around him like a little puppy dog and learned and took notes and talked to him.
He was at a 10, always. I think he was in his mid-50s, and he would throw that mace 50 feet in the air, do a somersault, catch it, smash it into the ground, and provide the best salute you've ever seen.
The biggest gift that George gave, and he did it on the field, off the field, on the podium, in rehearsal, at a performance, was he got us to believe in ourselves.
He came out here to American Fork, and he spent a couple days working with our leadership, working with our band, and it was just fun having him stay at my house and, you know, pick his brain, and he was always following us and just taking good care of us wherever we went.
He wanted to teach us how to stand, literally how to stand. How do you stand? Well, your feet are together. You hold your stomach in, put your chest out, throw your shoulders back, chin up. Keep your elbows frozen, because if you're holding a trumpet or thing or whatever you're holding. And then it got to the eyes, and I think that was something that was added afterwards, because that's not a positional thing. That's something that comes from here.
You could literally see the excitement in them as he would take them through this chant. How are your eyes with pride? Your eyes with pride.
3 years ago, our drum majors were just kind of yelling really fast, how are your feet, and then people would just yell stuff, and I just said, stop. So you're gonna do this, it needs to mean something. And so then we got our drum majors to slow it down. How are your feet? Together.
Goodness, can I remember the words now? Yeah, how are your feet? Together. Stomach in, arms out, shoulders back, chin up, eyes with pride. I didn't know I still remembered that. Wow, what a focusing moment. That is an incredible energy.
BOA, is an organization that runs a competitive national circuit, and they're really focused on growing the marching arts.
Bands of America provides opportunities for young music students to do everything from concert band, festivals, to marching band.
The last time the American Fork Band made it to finals of Bands of America Grand Nationals was in 1995. Back then, the finals was held in the RCA Dome. I was in my 10th year at American Fork High School. Competition to Bands of America Grand Nationals is unfathomable. It's just the world's best stage for marching bands.
I did go to Grand Nationals in 1995, and I have gone with American Fork every single time we've been. I was a junior in high school playing the piccolo. Back then, the process was a little different. There were still 100 bands that went, but they whittled it down to just finalists. They didn't hold semifinals back then. So we wanted to be in the top 14, and we placed 14th that year.
Through the Eyes of a Child, 2005, The Island in 2008, The Greatest Generation in 2009, Fury in 2013.
Another Viewpoint, 2018, 16th place, 1.07 points away from making finals.
But what I most remember is seeing the bands and knowing that AF was good, not quite ready for prime time. But I think I understood and the staff understood that we're not there yet. So I think we told them that we stay the course, we keep doing what we've been doing, we don't skip any of the process, we keep getting better, and it's going to happen.
Everything was difficult at first, learning how, I gotta walk a certain way, I gotta walk with my legs straight. Why? What is this?
Your toes have to be up, as little bend in your knee as possible, almost straight legs.
Day one of band, we're talking about where we keep the weight in the feet, making sure that the feet are starting together, and that way we can start and stop in the same position, so that way everybody looks the same.
I remember learning my first show. It was a lot. I felt like everybody around me knew what they were doing except me.
I could play the notes, I could do the marching, the choreography was like wicked hard.
I remember my first rehearsal and driving up and just trying to soak it all in, and then watching the rehearsal and just being in complete awe at how good they were and like doing just basic fundamentals and the rehearsal etiquette, and I was just like, where am I? Like, this place is unreal. I mean, they're not perfect. Like, they're still high school kids, but just the preparation, it was really cool to be a part of it. The team here they're all master teachers, and I've learned so much just getting to teach with them.
We just want to make the best show that we can possibly make. We, tend to have a show design that's geared towards BOA just a little bit more. They want a lot of different styles and a lot of cool visual moments.
Putting together a show is definitely a long process, and it's a little bit of a different art because I get to use performers as my paintbrush, if you will. It is all about crafting unique and interesting program. We want to do things that are entertaining. We want to do things that the audience love while also still checking all of the criteria. We have to still have woodwind and brass exposure and color guard exposure, and we can sometimes tell a story, and we can sometimes be a little bit more abstract.
My favorite, I would say, was my first year, The Wonderful World of Warhol. I loved the overall show theme, the music, the choreography in that show, just everything about it was wonderful.
We had these massive tarps that sprung across the entire field. We had a stage, just so many different colors and props that were around. It was a great show, one of my favorites.
We had our soup cans moment for the percussion, and of course that was my favorite moment. The parents did such a great job of making the giant soup cans, and it was a really cool effect, a really fun thing for the kids to do too.
I loved Warhol. The sax quartet, that was my favorite thing to this day that I got to teach.
Being at American Fork, it's been really fun because we've been able to push the boundaries of what is marching band. We're definitely pushing an aesthetic boundary. We want to create something that maybe hasn't been seen before in a unique and abstract way. Our art is never done, and I take a lot of pride in trying to edit my art throughout the entire season. I made some edits even from the St. George Regional all the way until we got to Grand Nationals.
I had no idea what was going on. We just got on a plane. That was the first time I ever flew. That's the furthest I've ever been from home. I go in to the stadium for prelims. It's huge.
The first time I walked onto the field in Lucas Oil Stadium, I was amazed by the sheer size, the volume of the stadium. I was a little overwhelmed.
Right before, you're walking through all these crowded hallways and these weird practice rooms, and then you walk through into the stadium and it's this rush of cold air, and then it's just dead silence.
It was really incredible, just like the experience of not on our home field or not on any other high school field. We're on like a huge stadium field with a huge dome above our heads.
I remember just looking around, seeing the size of the place, because I had never seen anything like it. You just walk in and you just could feel this energy just like going through your whole body.
The main thing I remember is just how small I felt.
But you don't know until you actually play in it. You feel like an ant because you're so small and everything's so big, like the roof is so high and everyone's so far away.
It really feels like we're in a different league when we're in there.
You've got these high-class judges watching you that flew from around the entire country just to come judge you guys.
There's all these other bands and you feel, wow, am I like as good as these bands? Can I live up to this? But I knew I was there on business, and I knew I had to focus, and I had a show to perform.
I just had a little bit of like pressure. We need to do something good. We need to perform really well.
I don't really remember actual performances. I remember like before and after them. It was kind of surreal. Like, wow, I'm performing here. Suddenly, everything felt right, and I was like, this is going to be the best performance of my life.
On drumline, you would assume that like playing in any field, you'd be fairly loud, but it was hard to hear the people right next to me. But at the same time, when the band all comes in at the same time at the big hits, you can feel the sound bouncing off the walls.
Sometimes I couldn't even hear the sound coming out of my own horn because it's facing away from me. However, you can tell when a big hit happens because everyone's cheering, even though you're like, I did something right. I don't know what it was, but...
I remember ending and looking at the drum major, and she was crying, and looking at the crowd, and they're on their feet clapping, and the cheers wash over you. You're so exhausted, you just put all your emotion into it, and then you grab the tarps, run off the field.
We'll now announce our 2022 Grand National Finalist Bands. Announced in random order, our 12 Grand National Finalist Bands. The Tarpon Springs High School Marching Band from Tarpon Springs, Florida. The Brownsburg High School Marching Band.
I had this feeling of hope, and I think everyone did, that we were going to make it. And even on the last band, when they still hadn't called our name, we were like, this is it, this has got to be it.
It was not fun to sit there in the stands and be counting off on your fingers. Okay, that's 1, okay, that's 5, that's 10, 11, oh, maybe this is us.
They reached the final one, and I've kind of convinced myself that this is going to be us.
And our 12th and final finalist band this evening will be the Fishers High School.
And it wasn't. I was so brokenhearted.
Sitting in the stands and not hearing our name called just kind of destroyed us.
You could just feel everyone kind of slump into our chairs, and everyone was really sad. I cried for 2 minutes that we didn't make it, and then I cried the rest of the day just thinking the season's over and I don't have the opportunity to do this with this group again.
At first, it was like a stab in the heart. Like, I put in so much time, so much effort, and I spent so much time at the high school, so much time practicing, and it was just a big letdown. I was just exhausted.
I remember walking back to the room and just hoping that they would like come on the intercom of Lucas Oil Stadium and say, there's been a mistake.
Big smiles.
You know, the competitive side of what we do is all determined by 5, 6, or 7.
I remember thinking that it had to have been a mistake. It was something that none of the kids in that band were used to. We had never really experienced not winning. I've never been so disappointed in my whole life, and I think a lot of us felt that way.
I remember the saxes specifically came up to me sobbing because they were so sad that they didn't make it and that they didn't get to do the quartet again. And I just remember, giving them like this pat on the back, like, you guys did everything you could. You left it all on the field. I am so proud of you.
We went back to the room, and I think that was a good chance for the band to reflect on what really matters. And it's not finals. It's performing an amazing show, and it's relationships, and it's teamwork, and it's service, and yeah.
Marching band for me has never been about the other bands. It's never been about making finals necessarily, even though that's like the goal. It's been like a personal competition against myself. I was more sad for the seniors who didn't get another shot.
We were 13th place. It's like 13th place is like you are the first of the losers. So it's a little brutal to get 13th place.
I use it to motivate myself, try harder, because I know what our band is capable of. It just pushed myself and I think everyone to work harder and focus, because we know that we can do this.
You know, when you make the highest placement and the highest score that the band's ever had at Grand Nationals, it says that you're moving in that positive direction. I want to know that we are in the right path. You know, we're doing the right things to help us to be competitive. 13th place is like, you are right there.
The work we did in 2023 was so important to get us into 2024, and we kept reminding the kids that, and I think they really brought it with Visions of Red.
I think my favorite to listen to and the music is 2023 because of all the amazing soloists, the aggressiveness of all the music.
The closer was pretty much just a mellophone feature. I was just playing my heart out into these notes. We had these runs and we ended on this like high G and we were just so excited.
Because of what we did in 2022, we kind of knew where the bar was. We knew we were so close to finals where we knew this is what got us here. We just need to go more than that.
A common phrase that we all talked about, the staff, the drum majors, the section leaders, was raising the bar.
I just thought of it as, let's make this a year and just become a better player, a better leader, just to do the best I could to improve, even though we weren't going to Grand Nationals.
The reason why 2023 was my best year in total was just because of how hard I pushed myself, physically, mentally, being able to help more people, being able to just reach new limits I didn't think were possible.
We just kept building upon what we've already done. Just the fundamentals program, knowing that to be good in the early season, like Gunnison, band camp, or early summer, you have to work on certain things that you don't want to work on in September and October. So you can be creative. You can work on the emotional aspect of the show. You can work on just fine-tuning of things.
We were just trying to make sure that we had the same approach, even though we're not going to nationals in 23.
We went to Flagstaff, Arizona for a regional, and it was really like eye-opening because we don't usually get a chance to have BOA judges mid-year, and so that opportunity showed us we can do really good.
If we go to 2 regionals, then that's 2 different places, 2 sets of judges that now know our name and see what we do, and if we nail it, they'll say, oh, look at these guys, and they'll start talking about them. We swept in Flagstaff, came in and took all the prizes and left.
Ended up scoring really high at St. George. It was a fantastic show, and they had a lot of success with it.
Orrin Landis does a really good job every time we go to critique in asking the judges for direct feedback. And one of the things that he asked a specific judge was, what do we need to do to be a competitor? And one of the judges looked at us dead in the eye and said, actually, I think that it's spot on. And I think that if you would have gone this year, you would have been highly competitive.
You know, I think marching band is really important for teenagers because it's hard. And I think that teenagers all need something hard to do. These kids just get this awesome opportunity to work hard together when it's really, really hot, when it's really cold, and when it's really also fun and awesome. That's going to translate for them later on in life when things are difficult and they are like, well, if I can do band camp, I can do just about anything.
I wouldn't trade marching band, my years in marching band, for anything. It teaches you hard work, and a lot of activities take a long time, so does marching band.
The football team always has a tradition. Since we always go to their games to do pep band where we just play during halftime, they always come to our marching band family shows as well as our Mount Timp competition. The football coach during the year, he'll come and talk to us, just expressing how much work we put into and just thanking us for our hard work.
I like music and I like marching and I love making an amazing show, but the most important thing is how I'm affecting others and if I'm making a difference.
A good drum major is someone who is not afraid to do the things they're asking other people to do, someone who is service-oriented instead of like standing behind them with the whip telling them what to do. You gotta make sure that you're lifting other people up. To understand each person, like the way they tick, what they're interested in, what moves them, what motivates them. Understand how they see things, how they see the world. It really helps a lot.
Marching band automatically gives you like 200 people to get to know. You're bound to make some friends if you're willing to, you know?
When seniors would talk to me, I felt seen and I felt like I belonged in the band. I really wanted to focus on making sure people felt like they belonged.
The friends and the relationships you have will last. They are deep and meaningful. There's nothing better you could be doing with your time. You stand out in the sun and it's hot and you're sweating, but when you go to a show and perform and put your heart out on the field, there hasn't been anything else in my life since then that's felt like that.
It's life-changing and it'll provide you with the best group of people that you could ever ask for.
During competitions, we always like give hearts to each other or thumbs up or like say like you'll have a great show. I always love to like watch, if I have an opportunity, watch other bands and to like cheer and clap for them. Everyone's like has a love for music, so we all have that in common, and I think that all just brings us together.
We have this drive and we want to be the best that we can. All of 6A Open is like gunning for that position. My band now at Westlake, I think, could have beat American Fork from 7 years ago, but that was 7 years ago. And American Fork is, of course, leading the pack on that, but everyone else is moving right along with them. And I think all of the schools are fantastic. There's not a bad band there. And so it's really fun to compete in that arena where it's like everybody's good. And I think that's a really healthy thing.
When I heard we were going to go back, I literally stopped and dropped everything I was doing, went into my room and just cheered.
Yes, finally, like we get to do it again. And then I probably cried because I was like, I want to go with the people that I went with before. I want to have that experience with them again.
There was a lot of emotion to that, knowing that we have a second chance to kind of almost redeem ourselves. It's not a bunch of different groups. We're all one marching band and we all have to overcome this obstacle, so it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication.
I think we deserve a second chance, and I'm glad that we get this one.
When you look at Grand Nationals, it's something that, since I picked up the trombone and started doing marching band, it's been, wow, this would be amazing. And so to get that close, it's really hard to not feel like we've got some unfinished business.
I've definitely felt unfinished business.
It's almost like a feeling of revenge. It's like, we got to make it this year.
When we're talking about the visual design of the program, we start talking about concepts in probably November, right after the end of the season.
Some years Jess knows exactly what it is that she wants to do. And spot on, man, she's just like, she knew exactly what she wanted to do. And we threw out some musical ideas and stuff like that. And she just rolled with it and came up with the whole thing. And it was awesome.
One of the things that we do consider if we're going to Grand Nationals is the way that we craft the musical book does have to sound good at Lucas Oil Stadium.
The big thing that we're talking about is the arena and the size that it needs to be, the scale that we're talking about. We're thinking about where the adjudicators are going to be.
Our judges are very high up, and so we do keep that in mind when we're designing for Lucas Oil Stadium.
When I talked with Jess about the show concept for the 2024 show, there was just some imagery that she was sharing with spots, drops, flowers. And so that was a lot of the beginnings of the art that we were doing and the field layout and set designs. When it comes to the prop design, we knew that we were going to have 5 string players. And so we knew we were going to want 5 props. What do we want them to look like? How big do they need to be? How big can they be with the space in the trailer? What sort of thing do we have on there that makes it stand out and makes it different? For us, it was that spinning disc that had different colors facing forward or backwards that created that effect. In the software, there's a 3D model of Lucas Oil Stadium, and so I can see fairly closely what it's going to look like in the dome, on the field where it says Indianapolis Colts. We start to get music finalized, production sheets that I'll use for writing. Once we get into May and in June, we'll get solid numbers from the program, and then it's just writing and iterating as much as I can.
John Meehan is a master at marching band. He's been writing shows for American Fork longer than anyone in the band has been alive. He comes out onto the field and he says, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and we have to fix things. Having John Meehan and Johnny Escalante come to rehearsal makes such a big difference. It's so amazing to see the show transform with help of these guys. On Wednesday, we were a good band, but we rewrote the end of the ballad. Everything changed, and the show it's a new show and it's a new band performing this amazing music that we've been able to create, and these amazing visuals that Johnny Escalante has been able to help us with.
As the season progresses, we make small changes and small tweaks here and there. This last change that I made in the drill was October 28th.
Up until Gunnison, it's not terribly hard. All we're doing is we're learning all of the show. We're just kind of getting it in our feet so that we can start to clean it later. But then after that, we know what we're doing. We just have to make sure everything is near perfect. That's going to be the difference between 13th and 12th place, is who is more clean, who has better marching technique, who played the notes with a better articulation.
Landis told me he wanted me to play electric cello this year. It's been a little hard. There's so many aspects of actually doing visuals and playing at the same time that is just so much fun and is just part of the main thing you go to band for that I haven't had this year. But then again, I know the part that I played this year was so important that I would give it up again every single time.
we're collecting together in the big circle, the opening of the show, and we reach down and we bring it up, and just in those couple 3-4 counts bringing up the horn, it just feels like you've just stuck your finger in an electrical socket. It's so intense and just emotional. And then it's the thump of that first opening note.
We've had months and months of getting ready for the first show, hours of rehearsal and preparation, and the kids seem ready, and then we get all the way to BYU and we get ready to start doing the performance, and there's like an absolute disaster. We're referring to it affectionately as the event. The pre-show's going and I'm like, okay, this is all good. They're like getting to the first hit, right?
I remember going to the yard line and then I just remember immediately thinking, this is not right. I don't think this is the right yard line. At first, it was definitely a moment of panic.
The numbers on the field were very, very faint. So we just didn't exactly know which yard lines were which.
I could tell that something was a little bit off, but I had no idea. I'm like, something's just wrong, like I don't know where I am.
And I'm like hitting Dana as I'm watching, and I'm like, Dana, they're not in the right spot. Like the band is 5 yards off from where they're supposed to be. They're not even on the 50. They're on the 45.
It was a super raw emotion up in the stands watching them just run to the wrong spot. And it was something that you wish you could just say like, let's take it back and let's try that again.
And I'm like, should I stop it? Should we stop it? And Dana's super cool. They're pretty smart. I think they'll figure it out. Everything kind of works itself out and everybody adjusted back to where they were supposed to be. Everything was fine. These kids have never lost a show. So I have all the kids come in and we're talking. I'm like, guys, here's what happened. All right, we forgot where the center of the field was. It's not a big deal. And then everything was fine after that. And we got first place and won all the captions, and it was like,
it was just a really amazing show in general. Like, I just love learning the music and getting to help these younger kids learn what I've gone through,
2022, I put a lot of trust into the older seniors just to tell me like what I need to do, but then in comparison to this past year, like I'm the senior, I'm the one that's supposed to be helping all these other people.
I loved being able to see the rookies and how much they've grown from people who said that they can't do it, that they're not good enough, watching them grow into becoming more than good enough. It really warmed my heart to see that.
Just the moments I had as a section leader, being able to help my rookies and help the underclassmen be able to grow. Those were probably the best moments. Arguably, some of them were better than Grand Nationals for me.
Throughout the season, I'm telling them, play now, like prepare for it now, because there won't be time later. I'm just telling them like, you deserve this. Like, you worked for it, play your heart out. There's nothing after this, leave everything on the field.
Throughout every single rehearsal that we've had, we've always had the standard of rehearse like you're gonna perform.
We want every performance and every rep to be better. That's how the good bands do it.
The excitement that's been building around towards this end of the season, towards St. George, is that this is our first opportunity to hear what BOA says we are. We're able to see how we're gonna be compared to all the other scores that have been happening throughout the country.
This year's different because half the band has gone to Indy. And this year, I think we have a little bit more confidence. People in the band have gone before, Mr. Lance has gone before, and we're ready for what Indy is gonna look like and everything.
Nervous, but excited. I feel like we're gonna do well.
It's a really big thing for everybody, and it's really our chance to kind of show this is what AF is, and we're gonna kill it out there, and I'm really excited to see and feel what it's gonna be like on the field.
We're moving in 2 minutes. Let's go, drum line, let's go. Remember, it's about business. It's about taking care of business today, getting out there, making sure that we're focused, and having a great run. Right? Yeah! Okay. Bring it in. I'm not blowing smoke. That was pretty freaking good. All right? That was epically good. All right? So nice job. That's what I'd like to hear just before we walk in over there and destroy it. All right? It's going to be fantastic. All right? Light the fire!
From American Fork, Utah, the American Fork High School Marching Band.
I thought it was a great performance. Honestly, I don't even remember what happened, and when I have that feeling, I know that we had a great run because I knew that I wasn't super stressed.
Music sounded great, band kept together, always a good thing. I could tell the energy was definitely more focused than it was yesterday. The band was excited and they were able to use that, build off the crowd.
It's a more focused, locked in, centered performance.
And in first place, with a score of 92, the 2024 Bands of America Utah Regional Champion, the American Fork High School Marching Band from American Fork, Utah. Go for it, great ranks.
So our trip out to Grand Nationals this year it's been fantastic. You make your way to the airport, you get here, and then you're rushing to the hotel, and you get to the ICC, you're rushing to get your uniforms on, you're rushing to get your instruments out. And the whole thing is rush and wait. Once you make it to the stadium, and then next thing you know, you're off to do your warm-ups, and then you're immediately going onto the field to get ready to do your performance, and then you've basically got a minute and a half on the sideline, and then boom, you're doing your performance, and then the next thing you know, it's over.
It is so hard to describe what our competition is like at Grand Nationals. Like, these bands are equipped with all kinds of extras and staff and budgets. Our kids have this extra added difficulty level of just getting to the location that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration. This group did not rehearse Sunday through Wednesday. 2 hours before the performance is the first time that they picked up their instruments since the Saturday before.
You could have the performance of your life and just fall short on the numbers just because everyone is so good and the judges are going to do what the judges do, and those are things that we can't control.
So at Grand Nationals, we played in prelims. We ended up 31st place. We missed the cutoff by .025. I had been fortunate enough a couple years ago to walk through everything with American Fork when they went and to kind of see how things operate. It was kind of nice for me to sit back and be in a no-stress situation and be able to watch Mr. Landis stress about everything. And I think the preparation following American Fork 2 years ago was really great. We were able to grow from that experience and not be like taken off guard. There was some change in our group that weekend. I just saw them go from kind of like maybe even scared to feeling like, wow, we actually did really well. What would happen if we tried a little harder? I don't know that they were let down so much as inspired.
The prelim performance was one of the best of the year. I mean, it was fantastic. The kids were just so prepared. Like, you could see it, that they were excited to be able to get out there and step onto the field of the Lucas Oil Stadium and be able to really have a great show.
It's a really different environment than we perform in anywhere else.
Walking onto that field was one of the biggest things I looked forward to because I remembered just how it felt. I don't know that I can say it felt different other than the fact that we had a second shot.
You know, the thing that helps me as a director is being able to turn around and look at the audience and see that everybody was standing up. We got done with prelims and everybody was on their feet. It was awesome. All right, how's everybody doing? Yeah. We have an hour and 35 minutes of rehearsal for the rest of the year. Yes. An hour and 35 minutes. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Of all the time we've had all year long, this is it. This is the last one. You guys know what you need to do. We're repping it so that way it's fresh. It's right at the front of our mind. So enjoy the rehearsal, enjoy the time, stay focused, keep it fresh. Let's have a great rehearsal. Cool? Yeah. All right, let's do it. The last rehearsal is bittersweet. My mind just always goes to the seniors. You know, like, those seniors have put in so much time with our band program, so much effort and so much energy. They deserve one last chance to focus on this one thing, this 8 minutes of music and drill, and have a great performance.
I'm proud of you guys.
We got that.
It doesn't matter what happens after this, because right now,
We got that.
we got that! All right?
I thought it was all right. It wasn't bad. That's all I've been asked for. It was great. I don't remember very much of it, but we left it all on the field. We did our best. That was, I think, one of our best shows up to this point, and that's what matters. So,
What did you think?
That was amazing. I had a lot of fun.
Semifinals is really bittersweet for a lot of bands, right? You're walking around the ICC and you see some bands that didn't make it, and the students look crushed, and you're trying to figure out like how you can keep your students focused and get them ready for a great performance. And the second time you get to do it, you're just that much better at it. You're that much more prepared. And like, they proved that. They went out there, they stepped onto the field, they had the best run of the year, which is everything that we asked them for. It's what we trained them for the whole year. So those kids just went out there and destroyed it. It was awesome.
After semifinals, I walked off and I thought, I don't know. It was good, but was it that good?
My heart was racing because we had just finished, and I was hopeful to make finals, but I really wasn't sure how well we did.
Yeah, so we're about ready to get on the bus and head over to the stadium, sit down and wait to hear the results of what the judges thought of what we did this afternoon. So like the kids, like I said, was the best performance of the year. It was amazing. So I'm just very proud of these kids and everything that they've accomplished this year and getting ready for this moment. So I hope that it goes our way, and if it doesn't, it's okay.
As soon as we stepped into the stadium for awards, I was like, oh man, I don't know if we're gonna make it.
Please don't let us walk back like we did in 2022, where we were just walking back in that silence. I was like, the worst experience I've ever had.
My heart was racing in those stands. I was on my knees just begging to hear our name.
I was just sitting there, kind of like rocking myself back and forth like, oh my goodness.
A roller coaster of emotions, because there was a bunch of people that had marched from 22 and were just really anxious because they didn't want what happened last time to happen again.
It was the most stressful experience of my entire life.
I kind of accepted the fate that we had in 2022, that kind of same feeling. I was kind of ready for that to happen again.
You could feel it, you could see it. It was almost like this big weight on everybody.
Announced in random order, our 12 random national finalist bands.
Either way, I realized that either way, I would have been like happy that we had all done this, that we had all like come together.
I was really worried, mostly not for me, but for the seniors, because like they're leaving, and if we don't make it, they don't get to do this again.
Like even from the beginning of the season, I've just been like nervous, thinking like, will we make finals? Like, what are we gonna get? Like, how's it gonna go? What's gonna happen if we make finals or if we don't?
It was that moment, and knowing that yes, they're good enough, but are we finally gonna get what we're here for?
The American Ford High School Marching Band from American Ford, Utah.
They said our name, started crying like a baby, hopped up, lost my voice in all of 5 seconds.
And I was like, hey, that's cool. And then everyone else around me freaked out.
Everyone was like screaming, hugging each other. Everyone was so happy.
I've never seen my friends jump up out of their seat so freaking fast.
Tears just jump out of my eyes. I look over and realize I'm not the only one.
They called us like sixth, and it exploded. And I didn't hear the next like 3 bands. It was just so crazy.
Couldn't even stand up. I was in shock. I just sat there crying.
It was so loud, I immediately grabbed my earplugs, I'll be honest. And then I started screaming with them.
Involuntarily, I just started like screaming, tearing up, jumping around, hugging all my friends.
I don't even remember hearing our name called. Jumping around with my friends and hugging them and screaming. It's like the weight just disappears and everybody just pops up.
I feel like so unified with the rest of the band.
I literally hugged like every single person around me. One of the greatest moments of my life.
I'm just in the band that made AF history. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a fever dream. I was not awake.
The energy was insane. It was like someone dropped a nuke inside my soul.
I jumped probably about 10 feet in the air.
Nothing like that feeling. And then immediately turning around to see the students' reactions. And that was, I think, the best moment of the whole weekend.
Hey! We got a band in finals! Way to go, guys! Wow. All right, guys. Don't. It's time to get in the super suits for one last time. Let's go!
Going on the field for finals was honestly one of the most incredible memories that I have from marching band. Instead of really being nervous, I just thought, this is my last marching band performance. It's gonna be the best one.
They made me. I promised if we made it to finals, that I would let them glitter my beard, and here we are.
Guys, what kind of principal would just glitter their beard? What kind of normal principal would?
A sick one.
Yeah.
What kind of bet did you lose for this?
The Kate Blackhurst bet. There was no bet, but you know, Kate was like, "I'm a senior. You gotta do it."
Yeah, there we go.
But I remember going onto the field and putting so much emotion out for the show because it was our last run of the show that we've come to really love.
I remember standing in the middle of the field playing a flute solo, not even really thinking about what I'm playing. This feels like home. Like, this is really why I put all that time into it.
It was nice being there as just a past director, but my main gig there was as a grandfather. I have two kids in the band, and it was just really fun to see that. I knew what the kids were feeling, and I knew what Mr. Lanos was feeling.
I just will never forget the kids playing at finals and walking out on that field. They didn't seem to have any nerves at all. It was amazing. They just came out there and did it even better than they ever had. Really their best run by far.
One of the best parts about getting to finals is actually just the finals awards, being able to be there with those other bands. We got to line up next to Broken Arrow, Carmel, going on with Tarpon Springs. It was amazing being able to be with those bands and be one of them.
I think I high-fived like everyone from Carmel, Broken Arrow, and Bridgeland.
It felt like a big community. Like everyone was kind of the same boat. We all were there to support each other, and we kind of knew like how much effort we got put into the show.
I thought it was like an honor that we were standing next to the people that we looked up to.
It's a lot different than waiting to see who makes finals because you want your name to be called as soon as possible just to relieve the pressure, but when you're down on the field, you're like, please don't announce us next.
We'll now present our Grand National Finals Placement Awards and Highest Achievement Awards. In 12th place, with a score of 88.35, the Leander High School Marching Band.
I was expecting 12th, and so I wasn't very energetic, you know, I was kind of slouching a little bit.
When they announced 12th, I was like, all right, we're top 11 now. And then they announced 11th, it wasn't us, top 10 now.
Then they said 10th place and it wasn't us. And I was like, what is happening? How did we get to this place where we're with all these bands that we watched 2 years ago and we were just looking at them in awe?
We not only made it to compete with these big dogs, we beat a couple of these people who come every single year.
We actually did so much better than I even thought we could do. I was just so proud of us.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there just like almost crying, we did it.
In 8th place, award presented by Herman Noel, Music for All board member, with a score of 90.70. The American Fort High School Marching Band.
I will tell you, I called it. I called 8th. So I'm sure it was my doing.
That was a really exciting and exhilarating experience and was probably like the best night of my life.
Being out there on the field in the 100-degree weather in the middle of the summer, it doesn't seem fun and it seems awful. But when you're out there with all your friends, making memories and just having fun, and the end goal is just makes it all so worth it in the end.
Every band in the West can look up to now and can say that American Fort can do it, we can do it, we have a fighting chance if we work really hard.
This has been a 50-year journey to get to where the band is, and that doesn't just happen. I used to have parents, tell me this, and, oh, thank you so much for what the band has done for my kid. And so I knew it. Intellectually, I knew it. But when you see your own kids, that's a different kind of special. When you see your own kids come through and excel and grow and reach for something harder than they thought was possible, and maybe you even thought was possible. It's something that's really special. And it's really special here.
You don't worry about your kids or your grandkids when they're in band. They're working. They're working on something that's really, really good and positive in their lives.
I just remember watching Beyond Limits for the very first time and just seeing, oh my gosh, I want to do that.
For me, being a drum major was all about having an impact on the band as a whole and also on the individual level, being a friend for those that might not have any. And so being able to go up and talk to every member individually and get to know them and show them that you care about them and you're glad that they're here and you appreciate their hard work and dedication was really important to me.
Marching band for me is always about the people. We just kind of got together and we talked with each other. Tell us your life story, your aspirations, your fears. It was kind of like just get to know everybody on a deeper level.
Any moment I'm off the field with my section, with my friends, with my family, I'm just having a blast. Whether we're at a 5-minute water break where we've been dying in the heat, or if we're on a plane to Indy, you're just with your friends and you're just having fun. You're realizing how hard you're working and that we can come together.
The friends and the laughter and all the fun we've had. We're trying to get people to join the marching band. I mean, we don't really tell them it's going to be one of the hardest things they ever do. What we do tell them is that it's like a family. You meet so many people, you grow together, and they become the people you love.
99% of everyone sticks with it because there's amazing people in band. We all look out for each other. There's no way that we could do what we do, spend as much time working so hard without all the section leaders and upperclassmen and everyone trying to be kind to each other and really coming together as a band family.
It's not just a band or class, but at the same time you're teaching togetherness and responsibility, and you're going through such hard things. You're going through really long days and really hot weather. You kind of bond over those hard things.
I'm really proud of all the kids and everything that they do. They literally they make everything fantastic. I mean, it's worth it on every level that you can think of because, the kids are awesome. Kids are awesome everywhere, but man, I just feel really blessed.
That feedback mechanism of acceptance, the, intrinsic gifts that you get from doing this activity, it's lifelong. And when you do that with child after child after child, or student all over the country, just to watch this child bloom in front of you into their true potential, it gets realized in marching band. What does it mean to have eyes with pride? You can't be elsewhere. You have to be there. When you teach someone to own their space in the world, you're changing their life. Power your feet! Together! Stomach! In! Chest! Out! Shoulders! Back!